Tunbridge was together, worked really hard to try and put on some Jubilee stuff. So we just tried to make something that people wanted to come to, that would be fun, that would be good to get other businesses involved in as well. So Sarah Jane, director of the bid, came up with the idea of Cake Off, and I think that was a really good idea. And then because we've been down here for a long time, we put a lot of events on, like the jazz and food festivals. So we kind of put our expertise of putting events on and work with her to kind of do a little co-production. And so far so good, it's working pretty well.
So we've got a small cafe in our store, which is basically designed as a safe space for children to play and parents to relax. We're taking part in the Cake Off this year, which I'm super excited about. Obviously we're a new business, so I just wanted to get behind and be involved in the community as much as possible. The classic Victoria sponge, maybe with a bit of vanilla flavour and with like a nice cream frosting, and just an all-round crowd pleaser for everyone to enjoy. I mean, who doesn't love just a nice classic Victoria sponge and cream frosting?
So we're the plant-based and everything we do is vegan. Bit of orange zest is always nice on a carrot cake. Invented it in the way all chefs invent things, where they Google it and then they tweak it over years to make it their own.
So we opened 18 years ago next week. We celebrate our 18th birthday next week. We're a family-run business. We have entered what's called the Elizabeth sponge, and it's a strawberry and vanilla sponge, a little bit like a Victoria sponge, which was created for Queen Victoria's coronation, but it's the Elizabeth and it's got edible rose petals. There you go.
We're 100% plant-based. It's the first one that I've opened outside of London, but Tunbridge Wells have been very kind. I mean, I live to create cakes. I mean, that is the dream for me. I've gone for like a chocolate berries and cherries with the themed, obviously, red, white and blue colour scheme, and covered in the Queen and all the things that are wonderful about the Jubilee.
We do a range of everything for hot drinks, cold drinks, alcoholic drinks, but obviously specialise in cake. We've got a full-time baker called Peter, and he's obviously the one that's made the cake for the Cake Off for the Jubilee weekend, which is passion fruit. He's gone for a passion fruit sponge with like passion fruit cream through it as well. So hopefully that should be enough for a winner as well for vegan and gluten-free. We've got a separate raspberry crumble slice as well that he's done.
We're a zero waste shop and cafe, which basically means that we try to be as sustainable and ethical as possible. Our chef Jen is incredible. I can't take any credit for any baking that we do here. So Jen has made a beautiful cake. It's a big, kind of looks like a stamp, and it is a traditional but vegan Victoria sponge, but has been infused with orange and Pimm's to just give a little bit of a Jubilee edge.
We've made a really lovely sort of Queen's Jubilee cake. It's kind of like a modern Eton mess in a cake, and we think that's we think that might be the winning recipe. At least we hope so. And it's even a cake the Queen might like.
Really happy and excited to get the commission for the Cake Off trophy. For the beginning of June. So I think the Cake Off is a brilliant initiative and project, and to really bring the community together. I always say it's a bit like baking itself, making the glass. So it's cutting layers, cutting circles, etc., building layers and putting everything into the kiln where it bakes basically, but up to 800 degrees, so a little bit hotter than cakes. I'm really pleased with the result, and I hope the winner will like it.
I think something fruity should win because chocolate always wins, so let's go fruity or veggie. My grandmother specifically taught me how to make a courgette lime curd cake, and that is my favourite cake. It's fresh courgettes and it's fresh homemade lime curd with a pistachio and lime cream cheese topping.
I've recently come around to carrot cake, but a vegan carrot cake, purely for the fact that everyone doesn't like the word vegan. So when they try it, and when you try it, you're like, oh, this is actually really good. You're really pleasantly surprised. And then you kind of feel a bit more virtuous about it as well. Like, oh, I've done something good, I've eaten something vegan.
I definitely always choose a carrot cake. It's my favourite. When I get sad, I just buy one and eat it alone. I feel like a Jubilee cake should be like a Victoria sponge and like a glorious selfie of the Queen. Yeah.
I feel like a Victoria sponge would, so that's a popular one, but I hope it's coffee and walnut cake.
I'm known in town as the cookie lady. Woohoo! Raspberries are in at the moment, so raspberry with a bit of a lemon would be quite nice.
I'd love to see a cake which is different, really big and bold and nice colours and fun. A fun cake and delicious, of course.
We have been asked down here today to help promote an amazing cake-off event in Tunbridge Wells. It is obviously to celebrate the Jubilee. I'd love to see people using their imagination, so I'd like to see, you know, crowns and jewels. Obviously it has to taste nice, so that would be a winning cake for me.
Looking at some of the other companies that are involved in it, considering their specialities are cakes and things like that, yes, I'm very, very worried.
So it's all about flavour. I think decor's always important, but in turn it's got to be the flavour, otherwise, and the texture, otherwise what's the point?
I haven't got a hope in hell of beating Ruby. Bitter rival. No, she's a very lovely person who's a lot more talented than me for cakes.
I'm sure he's going to be an excellent contender, so I think the nerves go both ways.
Ruby's is obviously just moved to Tunbridge Wells, so we've got like a little competition there, but it's all healthy, it's all cool. So I don't know, I'm really excited to see what they put forward actually. I don't know, I'm intrigued to see what other entries there are. I'm sure they'll all be lovely. Ours might be the best.
I'm sure there will be some amazing cakes out there. So let's just take part and see what happens.
But you know, we're a hotel, we're not cake makers, and there are a couple of specialist cake makers. I think the Cake Shed will probably do something really good. I know there's a new company at the top of town, Ruby's, I think they're cool, and I'm sure they'll do something interesting. But you know, let's see who wins on the day.
And our top two were separated by just one vote.